because it seems like they already knew anyway. Be very discreet about this one. And again, it's impossible for me to forget. So even if they figured it out, you have already proof of one of the macabre things that I don't want to talk about. Okay. So that was a prize. All the videos look sequential, but authentication has to be done by you, as I said. Career building case, but comes with some difficulties, and difficulties are organization and the fact you have to authenticate everything, which you didn't, and do the best I can, as you just saw, literally at this moment. But the payout is not zero either, because as I said, the fact that you saw what happened today early, and you imagine it was still happening the same night, plus you saw how everything was stuck inside. Another reason why you would be saying that. What I said before was about the fact that you're disappointed on my answer, but the fact he was talking that to me might have been something simple in the lines of, well, every other thing was very tuckled in a safe location. This phone was in my pocket, but that was about it. So keep that in mind. Either way, you have to stand, as I pointed out, in front of 3 cameras. 2 from this place, plus the ones in the front, and 1 from lamp in the back, as you get to see I showed you yesterday. And illuminated by the camera there. Okay. Would also explain, and I'm gonna check on the backpack once again because we left the backpack in a foolproof safe. Foolproof position, so we know if we fuck with it. As for that, you would see also why Nelson was not so concerned about right away talking that to me in the morning. Well, clearly, again, this is the coldest day, so here comes the explanation. It's beautiful, it comes in a video like this. Here comes the explanation for what I was saying before. First coldest day of the year, period. As you saw, I show screenshots and screen recordings of that on the app. It's not actually even an app, it's a video, it is a website, it's a weather channel. 6 degrees minima, I think, 6 degrees minima today, 6 degrees minima yesterday as well, and I think 8 or 9 the day before, something like that. So, third coldest day of the year, not first coldest day, but the third day that is amongst the coldest days of the year, short sequence, all with temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius. And even though it does matter at all, even now it feels almost hot in the sun, almost, not quite. Waiting until 9 or 10, it wouldn't make any reasonable difference. Actually, that's the reason I moved. I don't know if early on you noticed how I moved the box from the front to the back, to the ground. The reason is the box is visible from the outside, and I'm suspecting something similar to this, just more discreet. I mean, again, only heard partially what he said to me in the morning, but as I said, very likely not something for me to say. And best, that doesn't even make any sense. Anyway, it was recorded either way. And the thing is, if that's the case, again, it doesn't matter. And my idea was, you should just linger a bit until 9:30 seems to always be the day. That's kind of the point. Where the sun becomes unbearable back here, which I tell you is them throwing drugs in the air at that time in particular. The sun doesn't have a set date, set time to every day because such cause problems. The vehicle was just done in reverse on the highway then. As for and again, I just want to point this out, if you're crossing from the other side of the street, and the car is in the highway, which means it doesn't matter where it stops, right? Would you prefer to cross through the giant crevice in the middle? And you know it's a giant crevice there because it's the shortest point. So when I go there, it'll be much easier for me to just cross through, right? Or would you want to cross through the concrete? And again, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's a car in the highway, so it can stop at any point, any median. So you can stop also at any point. Would you prefer to cross a point and there is a fucking concrete slab, or just jump over a crevice in a cold day, potentially wet, there's potentially mud there, you can slide. I'm just leaving that for you. And it rained like 2 days ago, or, yeah, yesterday? I think it was yesterday night, or something like that. So, again, you come to your own conclusions, but I'm just pointing out the facts. Talking about facts. So, colder days, as I said, temperature rises up every day. At 9:30, I start to feel weird, and if there is sun in the sky, and I told you several times, the problem's not the sun, the problem's the drugs they start running on me at the time, always on the same time as well. You know how they loved it at a specific time. Also, 3 a.m., another time they woke up, they woke me up during the night, the entire night. At one point, and just when I thought how happy I was that I had all of them there with me. And then after that, I think it was after 3 a.m., they left, and there was this gigantic crevice open on the space. So imagine that was when they went there to assault me. As I said, I can tell you categorically, I did not. It left the menu, open up the video on the thing. Period. No ifs, no buts. I was gonna do that the previous night, which, as I said, is what a imbecile thinks themselves nefarious to do. Because, yes, it could get entangled in my memory, except it didn't. I did that the night before, and not this night. And they saying that very clearly. This video goes to YouTube right now, because we're not taking any chances of further interference with it, because of this detail. So I propose to you, for the guys that are going to expect you to take that word after all the things you see in video. The video when I said that it was entangling, and I'm going to upload that video as well, was the previous night. When I said they left the thing there. And then in this night, the thing happened. When the gap in space opened up. So when you're listening from the guys who expect to does that work for us, I want you to remember this in detail. AVO for H68. And that's the information. So, what else I'm saying here? Okay, and that's a very important detail. At any point last night I tried that. At any point that I tried the night before, and I stopped because my logic was phone barely has any charge, which is not the case for yesterday. What am I doing? I'm wasting more battery in something that can be done later instead of doing that now. I categorically, not a doubt in my mind, no ifs or buts, I did not do that last night. Someone entered the place as he was, deep as he was, and did that. And the fact that Johnson was there today very likely was so I wouldn't be able to find evidence of it, notice evidence, collect data and other things, as you saw it staying there, right? So, again, just pointing that out to you. Anything from there to the words said, as I said, if I can just stay there in the back, which is what literally he said today, and I'm quite sure it's going to be an explanation that's going to come with me saying that to him, because that's how it usually goes. Then what is the problem with one box staying in the back? You cannot even see. I mean, he literally said that I could just stay there in the back and I don't have to keep mounting and dismounting. And if that's the case, then what is the problem leaving the one box there? Right? Or two, for that matter. So here's my version of events. You see which one you sounds more likely. And see which one, first off, it sounds more bizarre, first question, and which, the second question, which sounds more likely when you actually analyze the event. Someone went there to assault me in the middle of the night. They got access to the phone, but not to the backpack. Through that, they realized that the things that they used to be on the place they thought it was no longer. And most of the things they will have access to are not even just the only copies, because there are also other copies elsewhere. If the temple was there, as I just said, those are the guys expecting you to take their word, even though there are many, over video evidence to literally get you to see. There's a funny video of Neil deGrasse Tyson over when he says something about visual evidence, eyewitnesses being direct evidence, which they are. And, you know, if you cannot remember something that happened a couple of seconds ago, how can you actually do that? Just something funny about commentary. In this case, it wouldn't be a misremembrance, it would be a lie. And in the morning, there was a lot of talk between them, which led to, in the morning, Dan got a little pissy, because if you remember the crime that he did to me back in October, it happened, and I was not short of mentioning this. I literally can play that video as a screen recording just so you see. I was saying that 1 week, it had passed 1 week over without them touching, with stopping assaulting me. In 1 week, I was able to keep the thing safe inside there, and every night, despite the drugs in the air, being able to sleep safe with the things there. Oh, check it out. This phone was stopped. As I said, it comes with experience. So, I suppose you have something to do in the afternoon. It's just me talking, so it's not a huge deal. You don't even need to actually transfer. You can just play from one to the other. But I'll continue talking so you can continue to essentially see on this video, because again, this started, it was recorded in this, it was stopped, and it's going to continue in this. So this video walks the entire period. You're going to see the moment when it stops, you're going to see the moment when it restarts, and you can see the continuation between the continuity between one and the other, from the beginning to the end. In both. And the 3 videos are going to stay on this, then there are going to be 3 videos on the other ones. As I said. And it's beautiful, you know, all those things, you know, people taught you about virtue, and have not waste after all, right? The one thing that was valuable throughout this, the thing that I can guarantee this and shit took the least important one. So, 46:21, 46:29 is when it starts. So, 8 seconds. 8 seconds for this one. I did drain it. Hardly a huge surprise. The important thing is not that though. A couple other things that I just saw. First off, see this. I noticed this yesterday. See this cut here? This straight cut? Yeah. Needless to say, the cats don't have any feasible tool to make this straight cut here. It's done with a knife. Okay, notice you don't see any puncture, anything else. It's nothing else. I'm doing it now. But, until I made it now, no puncture, just a straight line cut. This was done by the criminals. Okay. We have confirmation of them assaulting me last night. I'm going to say that's done in a minute. And I'm going to do that. And again, they could have just closed that thing and honestly, or turned off the phone, and I probably wouldn't be that much the wiser. In fact, they turned off the phone. I probably wouldn't even notice something happened. Instead, they did that and also interrupted the previous video. So I'm not going to repeat anything. I don't need to. This phone is already a 14. Oh, they shut that phone down again. Perfect. So now it's 2. Now it's too sure. I'm gonna also show to you in detail now in the shade so you get to see it better. Alright, turning on immediately as well, as you can see. No need to be pushing out twice. Only once, so you bypass the crime, and then it's already on. Very important. So, and since you seem to be one of the important ones, I suppose in the same video, you're going to listen to me saying that the same criminals there expect you to take their word for it, decided to transpose what happened in one night to the next night, and interrupt the video not once, but twice. Now, the twice is the actually important one, because the first one you could generally say just died of battery. But this second one, the phone turned off immediately, and that was filmed as well. So, that is that. And as I said, this video never stopped. Now it's at 16 minutes and 26 seconds, which means you got to listen to me talking, then a glance of me talking again, uninterrupted for the second time, and then me finishing the talk now, all in this video. And you can match that to this one. So, as I said, for the criminals who think they're going to ignore what you can see with your own eyes for their word, even though there are many, transposing what happened in one night to the other night, because as I said, there's no doubt in my mind that this phone was recording audio last night, or video apparently, when I passed out. But even then, it could never be on the directory that was open, period. I even showed to you, if you try to open through the camera, it doesn't actually ask the password right away. And you go back, it goes back to the camera, it doesn't go back to the directory. And the only way to enter the directory is with the password. Which means that I would have to have opened that, which means that I would have to have been awake, saw that the video stopped, and decided to open that through the folder. And why would I do that? Just look for a second. The video stopped randomly. Like, you went into, through the middle of the night, and you stopped at 11 something. And why would I want to enter the thing to... Okay, as I said, plain and simple. Require the password, require the accessing. I did not do those things. The phone was dead, although I couldn't find it in the middle of the night. And there was several points for the night when the thing was just stretched open in between two cameras, as you saw there and there, and three actually, because you also can get the camera from lamp in the back, as I've shown you before. You can even see the red of the infrared in one of those videos. Is green. There's a green as well. Yeah, I remember there was a green at some point, but I'm quite sure you also can see the red with the infrared. I don't remember, but you see the video, not the green. And you can see a light from that. Okay. And with that, keep in mind so sorry, I got distracted. Probably something being thrown on me. I'm not going to repeat everything. It's recorded on this phone. I'm going to play from this to this, so I get to listen and cross-check the moments that they interrupted it. So this is the version of the events, as I'm telling you, when you say which one makes more sense. Which one's more bizarre first, and which one makes more sense. Whatever crap they didn't come up with, and keep in mind they'll have ample time because they'll be listening to that at this point, right? I'm just making it up with information I have right now to what happened in the middle of the night. Someone went that saw me during the night, didn't know about the phone. No, this phone wasn't recording, which I think I didn't. Don't know anything about the other phone apparently, because they must be fucking basically what? You haven't watched cartoons? Yeah, I mean, doesn't it? Just think for a second. It's a mixture of complete morality, no qualms, and the bizarre crimes like animal cruelty and other things that just make people hate you for no reason. And again, take it with I say with a grain of salt. I know what you're actually going to be thinking. Again, it takes a very special type of criminal to actually take their own victims at face value to what they say about them. So, more power to what they think is going to work. As you said, unfortunately, there's no news I can't report about listening to it reliably. You can try down the little guy. It can turn out to be 100% true, as we discovered in the past. And unlike them, we learned to be fuck it. So what happened? Went in the middle of the night, tried for news. This one was in court. You know about the little guy. Did something on it because even though they knew the old password, that they would have means of changing things. Left it there for me to see, or rather for me to comment to you. And this is the important part. As I said, this is actually the key part for you to remember. The fact that what they are doing in a way as to make it look like what happened last night actually happened this night. Again, keep in mind, what happened 2 nights ago actually happened last night. That's a major deal. This is something that I'm quite sure that they're going to see as the most trivial thing, and this is essentially the main point. We will show several other times they intend to deceive, because you don't require the actual full-blown action for that fact. What you see is that if they could, they would deceive and lie. And again, those are millions of criminals. I'm not talking about one guy in the dark of the night. So yesterday in the mall, the sheer scale of this, sheer numbers, right? And you see through this situation or several others, the sheer amount of attempts to accomplish nothing concrete. They're not exposing anything. They're just attempting to deceive. Now again, it doesn't take a genius. You could just close the thing, shut down the phone, whatever. Actually, because the way that things happen in the morning, which was also there, I'm going to get that as well, I probably didn't even notice that the phone had been tampered with if they even just shut down, which they clearly could do because they had a password for it, right? But instead of even shutting down the phone, those motorbikes back there disappeared. Moved on. Cool. Instead of even shut down the phone, they decided to open up the directory and leave it in the password phase, except you can only enter the directory if you already have the password, period. There's no ways about it. I literally showed you the only other way that I can think of, which is from the camera. And if that was the case, when you go back to the camera, not to the directory, right? It's the only way to know open a video, because when you try to open the directory through the camera, it still asks the password. So essentially what they did was tell me that they have the password. Now this is not the intention. The intention clearly was to transpose one night to another night, which is why, as I said, pay close attention, authenticate everything, because you know that they are lying when the mouth moves. If the mouth moves and sound comes out, you know that they are lying. That's a good hint. So, because of things like this, authenticate everything. You don't need me to say things, right? They want to accuse me of whatever. More power to them. You should listen to what they say in detail, because it's probably going to be flaws in that, because the intelligence is such a level that, in my opinion, you just listen to them talk and keep them talking, and then see anything from that. As a matter of fact, they are so deprived of any bearings that they're actually going to repeat the same thing about me right now, what I say right now. Not when I'm in a safe environment and I can think straight and I can organize things and write and put things correctly, but when they drug me every day, every hour, throughout the day. Keep that in mind. It tells everything you should know as well about that. So if that might just be seen as stupid or insensitive, I want to say that that's also not intent to deceive. They actually expect you to indeed take me and the millions of criminals in the same level, capable of same capabilities. So more power to them. And they should have all the information I say to you in advance. Keep in mind, they're listening to this now on the 11th of May, 2026. I am speculating the things that happened during the night, which they already know about. Now, they will be knowing what they did. There will be information that I'm saying to you right now. They will have the entire time and to actually ask that to them to come up with a counter story to that, and you see which one you think makes more sense. Now, which one is more bizarre? I'll do that as well. But which one makes more sense to the facts? And after arriving there, we realized that they actually didn't have the thing. Left the thing that opened because, as I said, that's important. After it, in the morning, and then pass words to other criminals, I think that they actually happened twice. I don't think that there was just one criminal. I think that there was actually two or more. And that's just a hinge. Because during the night, I noticed there were several times when the cats weren't there. There's one important thing. Only Chip. But Chip is too young, as I said. She's small. And although now it's a bit safer, I'm going to take even more precautions. Because, again, we didn't know that. But as I simply point to you. And a couple of things occurring to me. And as I said, this is why you see the faces. Because at this conjecture, I couldn't care much less about what they have to say, to be honest. As I said to you, I say you listen to them carefully. Just make sure that you keep in mind all the faces they are involved in this, so they cannot just run away later, because they would if they could. They're going to say they had nothing to do with it, or they didn't know, and that's why you're walking out all the faces. Kind of like a cop blocking up a story, so the guy cannot change that later. Yeah, and that's what we're saying. Just that this is this part of the crime. Before you had the absurdity, before you have proving intent, which you're kind of doing right now as well. Right now it's more on the phase of making sure that you understand that every sheer scale for everyone that chooses to be a part of this crime. And for what happened there. And yeah, the explanation would be fair. I might say that I was consensual, there was that interacting with me, a variety of things, which is what I'm saying to you categorically on the same day. I'm pointing that to you as quickly as I can on YouTube, a place they cannot add the videos after, change the dates, doing anything else. Matter of fact, you're going to have you have a configuration out there, you have the sky, you have the sun, you have the dates, you have the weather, you have everything. Don't need extra things on this. But as I said, I authenticated everything. The day the person shares, you saw the geniuses in the genius plans will be able to outsmart some company or which designed to do cybersecurity, or someone else who is experienced and knowledgeable, knowing that they are trying to be lied to. It's a day that I wouldn't have a chance. So, as I said, putting things in scale. What else? Well, as I pointed out, it might have happened twice, as I was saying, but even if not, which led to happen in the morning, because in the morning, the abrupt nature, which this guy was talking to me, so fast, but going there directly, compare that to the other days when it didn't quite happen this way, and yep, that's what I say. Now, I already just said that the scene is going to be on YouTube in a minute, and we will. So I propose to you, and before I was just pointing that out as pointlessness, think for a second if you still think that it is pointless what they're doing. Right? Think for the light of the night that happened the day before happening last night. And then think again about them trying to catch me on something that is on YouTube or is giving to the press and giving to other things. Because again, we know that they're being dishonest because they are acting. So if they're doing something, they're being dishonest. That's what they are. And because I, again, rather naively, I would admit, did believe that how funny it is. It doesn't even make much sense. I need to open up without tampering with it. Accident. Yeah, match on this side. Blue ring. No help comes. Also there. No help comes. It's half a centimeter too far for my eyes to catch, because as you can see, it's pretty tight. So if you move, you'll never be able to place it back on the exactly same place, matching between the bag and the tape. Which means you cannot cut the tape, but also no. You cannot remove and place it again, but also no. As I said, that's the closing we used to do back in the terminal when I'm closing my thing. Not that I'll mention anything about that. I mean, I showed to you. I'll comment on that later. What happened or didn't. But for now, as I said, everything that I said, the criminals have access to. So I would say, as of now, making an exception to that, based on this one test alone, without removing everything to check, that they did not get access to the backpack. Which means, I mean, at this point it doesn't mean anything. I would say that even if they had, they wouldn't have found the fucking phone again. So, once again, you have at least audio recording. So, unfortunately, it's in video, but for what it's worth, nothing's perfect. I was really not expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. Of them assaulting me in the middle of the night. And given the geniuses, probably, I imagine that they said something, so you also probably have a voice sample. Just based on average intelligence, you know. Those were the same criminals you saw from the plastic bags. They are still there and also in here. So, now, I have another thing. Just was not looking at me as I was opening the bags. I was closing the things. I don't doubt that he was glancing at it and seeing what was moving in and out, for sure. But I didn't see it actually paying close attention. I could have closed everything inside before leaving out anyways, right? So, there wasn't anything open out to begin with, but I could. And this is important. Also, there was a point in the middle of the night when I definitely couldn't find this little guy. So I can guarantee to you that there was some criminal there. So there you have it. Someone definitely assaulted me last night. I'm going to report that to done immediately, put that on YouTube, this video on YouTube right now. Especially the one after the continuation from this with the other one. Actually, I'm going to put just that one because, again, it's just me talking. How much else to see, what you see. We're going to be online as well, but the important one is the explanation one. And that's the one uninterrupted through that phone. And cannot place the time. The weird things happening throughout the night. And they woke me up several times through the night. Can't tell you this much. Most of them I just ignored. There was even one time, and this is just for you to have some perspective of, you know, who is you're dealing with. I felt actual happiness when I have like them on me. Like they was laying on me. And I just remember they were just hugging them, and I felt genuinely happy, even if a little bit. Remember what I mentioned before? I was even thinking at some point something on the lines of, you know, how the attitude matters as legally as the smiles. But when it goes down to people's reaction to it, it matters a huge deal, right? Even that they seem to have been using the argument, I suppose, they would understand where it was coming to them. So, except in my case, funny enough, in my case, the smile is defiance. It's to say they saw how they sing as a personal insult every time that I say things like what I just said, or smile or anything else. They see that as a personal affront to them. Which, by the way, again, textbook on how to be hated by an entire planet.
And just, although to be fair, after them, cruelty to them, after the things that did to her, alone, like to these days, using narcotics no less. So you have everybody, whoever, nope, more power to them. Whatever they think, it's gonna apply. Now we just see the face, associated with her. And all of them know, by the way. Like, you think that the individuals in the mall you see reacting to what I say, literally in the mall, don't know what I'm saying. So when they reacted to what I said, they just heard that part. The rest is invisible to them. The words are invisible. Please do make that joke, because, I mean, what else you expect, which believe, right? So, as I said, and as you could clearly see, being the only one who didn't want to be there. Mas back to mesmo merda. The fact is, I generally believe, but they seem to take it as a personal front every time that I feel those things. So keep that in mind. That's going to be very important for you. And as far as the rest goes, we're going to make sure two things. One, now we're going to upload this. We're going to transfer something from the phones, but I think better than that, we're going to make sure that all the videos with her, her mom, and all the other cats stay online in YouTube, not just online. And you can just go video by video and see which ones. Obviously, only be the ones in here before, because they'll never take her away. There's no point. It's just going to expose her to those criminals. And although, again, I'll do that myself, I wouldn't do that to expose her. Again, take from that what you will. Because not only they would, or they could, target them, but as you see based on their own actions, they did target them, and they would, consequently, obviously, target them to try to get to me. Again, right in the manual. Yeah, one atrocity at a time. And keep that in mind. As for the other ones, and at the end of the day, if you do things right, you don't need to say to you, you won't need to go for the actual core criminals. All the other ones we just saw yesterday, all the other ones who are, through their own choice, involved in this, would go after them themselves, because, well, again, as I said, this looks like a place that is, well, utopian to you, by any chance of imagination. But one time when they got together, it's sort of process to me. So, those guys didn't look half poor. As far as this society goes, not incredibly weak. So, did I force them to say the things that they say there in front of you? Did I force them to be doing the things that they'll do, imposing for you? Did I force them to put children involved in this? Did I not do the opposite, in fact? All their actions are their own. But I don't know if these actions are their own. But I can tell you that they know about these actions. So all the actions are shared between the criminals. I mean, the knowledge about them. They know what's happening, is what I'm saying. If you have a guy just raping someone and then posting that in YouTube, right, or killing someone, or doing some hideous crime, right, anyone just killing because it's kind of a finite thing, you want something more repetitive. Would you want to, share that yourself, or reshare that? Or posting online, do you want to share that post, or would you, want nothing to do with it at the very least? That, again, just leaving up to you where you decide these things more sense. So, again, they think they can just peace out and detach themselves from this, and more power to what they think is going to happen, as I said yesterday in the mall. When they threw something on her, she didn't pull yet, by the way. So, that the thing that you saw happening 3 times in the mall, not once so far, or even yesterday, for that matter. She slept the entire time with me inside. Only the first night, the night when they took her mother, is the night that she put me inside, which now I know is true. By the way, she didn't even drink milk by then. It was still her food. So her food habits changed drastically. And then you have this thing that was never she did before as a kitten. I never saw it. She started doing it, and then stopped, and then it started again. But it only happens on the times when it's convenient for the criminals, like when I'm about to eat my food. But that's okay though, because it's unrelated, right? Just like other faces there doing commentary and specific phrasing for this crime is unrelated to this crime. Yeah, more power to them. Just going to YouTube right now, I'm going to shut out Tanya to make sure that she's able to see it. But I just want to place the cherries on the commentaries about cops and legal things that are going to literally listen to a crime of this magnitude and then try to act against the victim, which, again, some of them seem to also be the case, which, and I'm not even saying it's impossible. What I'm saying is, yeah, and you get to see that too. Imagine how cute that's going to be, particularly for the higher politicians having to actually still have a country to present to the rest of the world that law exists. And those are the criminals, those are the places, those are all real things. Again, none of those things are arbitrary, imaginary, fictitious. Everything is what you see by individuals doing the things as they happen. I literally say that in every single video, every single point. Those things happen in several cities, from my home in Niterói to, which I don't know how much you could say was my home at that point, because all the atrocities being done there. Might just suggest it might have something to do with this thing, because I remember seeing this thing over there. I didn't know what this was supposed to be, and there wasn't that when I got here. So again, if you remember, posing here, you are irrefutably in front of that camera, which has a light on, and in front of this one. Period. Okay? And I was looking at that entire night. Every time I woke up, I was kind of half awake, half asleep, with the kittens on top of me. And, oh, well, what I just said. Plus, you got to listen to the other interactions. Again, the thing about being what they're going to be known for, and also just incredibly stupid, which is jaw-dropping. Again, most individuals with this level of war crimes wouldn't have their victims being just astounded on the stupidity. Also, can you have anyone in the more quintessential stalking position than this? Just for framing. So you can see how the framing is exactly that one, and then I'm gonna read you another face, quote unquote, not to be unattached to this. So that'll be the framing. Just another one, right? And from there, we play there. Oh, I'm going to upload this one immediately. I want that on the safe side. Call Tanya, play from one to the other, and then upload the other one as well. Now, this is less related than the other thing, but still that. So what is the look? That's one on beach, by the way. The one with the plate hanging, but it is the plate that's hanging. It's DMU 2746. It's unlawful to have the thing not properly placed. Although since I only have to have it in the back, but I don't know how the law works for trucks. I'm gonna upload from here. I'm gonna do it from the back, but I'm gonna waste much thing there. .2906. She filmed on the little guy. Now it's 12:18 p.m. 29:15. You might not want to stay too long in here, or else the masterminds are going to decide to mastermind things there for the 1 or 2 minutes that I'm going to stay. Thinking that I could never imagine such an obvious thing being done by the dumb criminals me. But then again, as a cop said, criminals are not often the most smart sort. Yeah, he phrases that in a better way. I don't remember which one it was. One of those YouTube cops. Oh, cops you see on YouTube. Today is. One final thing that I want to say, I just remember now, which is to walk you through the morning as well. It's going to be renamed. Oh yeah, low solutions of glass. It's super fast. Yeah, this started roughly when the video finished uploading that. Moved out the second I pointed to you, didn't it? I use telepathy to know. That's how telepathy works. In case you didn't know. So it's time to stop that video and camera on this. Just funny. Just put your whole things together with case. Okay. So 51 minutes. It's gonna be a long boy. 51 minutes and 30 seconds.